Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about MSNBC and this little attack with Ron Perlman on the Trump. Once again, all the time. It's nonstop, but let's get through it, shall we? You know, television is no stranger to making fun of the president. Every single president had to face it. George Bush, Clinton, basically anybody that's been around since, the era of television. But comedy, making fun of the president, is usually something done by, comedians or talk show hosts or whatever like that. It's not supposed to be done by news sources and stuff. So when I came across this little segment on MSNBC, excuse me, I was a little alarmed because they can't really stop making fun of them. This just goes to show just how little they know about people in general. And I'll prove that in a second. So without further ado, we're going to roll and watch this shit because it's going to get a little frustrating.
You know, if you're a conservative Republican, if I were a liberal, that's why I always thought of went to Wharton, was a good student, went there, did this, built the, I have to give my credentials all the time because we're at a little disadvantage. But you look at the nuclear deal. We had our beautiful Marines standing there. Bing, 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 bing. We got them back. Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. You know what that is, right? Bing, bing. I love it.
You don't know what that is.
No, you don't know what that is. Okay, you take everything out of context. We can do that with Obama too. We can do that with any president, basically. Anybody that speaks publicly, we can cut apart their segments, take things out of context, and just pretend that we don't know what the hell they're talking about. So this is kind of obvious to anybody that's watching. But alas, we know what the hell he's talking about 9 times out of 10. Anybody that understands speech patterns can understand what he's saying.
Remember in 2015 and 2016 when we used to be shocked, amazed even, by incoherent, meandering, almost incomprehensible speeches by then candidate Donald Trump? Well, it is now 2017 and grammatically incorrect sentences and hard to follow monologues are a daily national occurrence. But this week, with Trump giving an interview to the paper he loves to hate, the New York Times, we got bombshells, the president slamming his own attorney general, threatening the special prosecutor, and dismissing his dinner chat with Vladimir Putin. And we also got more examples of his bizarre word usage, like this comment on healthcare. We have some meetings scheduled today. I think we have 6 people who are really sort of okay. They're all good people. We don't have bad people. I know the bad people. Believe me. Do I know bad people?
Now, there's a reason why Donald Trump hates the New York Times, and this is why. It's not just the whole fake news thing, because they are, guilty of doing that, which most people are. But if you take a good look at this article, you will notice that they left in the you knows, and they cut sentences short, putting periods in places of commas. This was transcribed inappropriately, very unprofessional. And the reason why they're doing this is to make him seem like he doesn't know what he's talking about. This is something that's done purposely. Anybody that's done any kind of transcribing jobs knows that you don't leave in the you knows and you change small sentences like this right or give it away and add commas to it to make a full sentence. This is something that the New York Times should know how to do, and they damn well know how to do it. It's extremely unprofessional just leaving it in the way they did, and the reason why they did was to try to make him look stupid.
It's about healthcare. And with me now are 2 guests I hope will help me translate Donald Trump for our viewers. Actor, award-winning fabulous actor Ron Perlman, author of the memoir Easy Street, The Hard Way, and Columbia University linguistics professor and my personal favorite linguistics professor, John McWhorter, author of Words on the Move. Okay, this is like a dream panel for me because maybe it is elitism, and I'll start with you on this, John McWhorter, to be weirded out by kind of the way Donald Trump speaks. But it does strike me that when I try to read what he's saying, it's very hard to understand it in print.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's partly that the way he talks is very oral. And so it's
the way he talks is very oral, people, because usually people don't talk orally. Maybe they're talking about Obama, who's usually talking anally.
Excuse me. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
It's not designed to be read. It's not something anybody would write.
Right.
And the truth is, I mean, as disgusted by him in many ways as I am, the truth is that a lot of us sound a lot more like him than we would think, even on TV shows like this. Context means a lot. He's not a careful speaker. He's just an ordinary barstool speaker.
Trump is a barstool speaker. He is your average Joe. That's why he got elected, because he's not this guy that's been practicing speeches since he was 12, you know, like Obama, so he can get all the linguistics right, but he can't fix the damn country. I trust somebody that can't speak the same way or hasn't had the same kind of experience as Obama. Thank you very much. He might not speak clearly, or he might not, you know, have everything that an Ivy League school, you know, student would have, but he's fixing the country, isn't he?
Maybe that's why, because as an actor, you know, Ron, you're called upon to, you know, step outside of who you are and become someone else, right? Have you ever encountered a character like Donald Trump? This is him talking in New York Times. I'm going to read one more. Maybe I'll have you read it. I think I should have you read it. Read this one, number 3. We're going to let you take advantage of your word stylings if you have your glasses on.
I do not have my glasses.
You don't have your glasses. All right, I'll read it to you. I've had the best reviews on foreign land. So I go to Poland to make a speech. Enemies of mine in the media, enemies of mine are saying it was the greatest speech ever made on foreign soil by a president. I'm saying, man, they cover garbled. You saw the interviews I got on that speech. The reviews I got on that speech. Poland was beautiful and wonderful, and the reception was incredible. Like he doesn't sound like a president. He sounds like a tourist.
I just wish more of it were garbled, because it may as well all be garbled. I mean, you know, it's like because there's zero coherence to any of it.
No.
Yeah, but is he an everyman, or is he an elite man? I mean, this guy, he brags that he went to the best schools. He went to elite schools. He went to a private military school. What if you were playing Donald Trump? Would you be playing an elite man or an everyman?
Okay, so I don't know if you know this, but I had this trip to France. I was just there with the head guy. What's his name?
Emmanuel Macron.
Alfonso Macron, and he narrowly beat Le Pen. I think she won. But I don't. I mean, look, you know, who knows? Anyway, Macron, great guy. Never knew he was a great guy. He's French. Never knew he was a great. He has a very hot wife. We're talking, and you know, all my properties, I have this dessert. It's called the Eclair. It's phenomenal. It has everything. It's like long. It's a little, you know, the shape of it is very, very. You know what I'm saying? And so, and it has this chocolate on the top, and then there's something in the middle of it. I don't know what it is, but it's. Joy, I don't know if you know this, but anyway, I'm talking with my new friend Alfonso Macron, and Alfonso says to me, the Eclair. The Eclair. And I didn't realize this, but we have Napoleon to thank for the Eclair. That's it. The Eclair is named after Napoleon.
I think you're our next president of the United States.
Well, I am running in 2020.
You should.
Okay, so you have to admit that he did kind of nail that. But the thing is, though, at the same time, okay, he is running for president. He has a lot to say about Trump. He's even written a book about it. I haven't really gotten, you know, what his policies are yet. But, you know, maybe I'll read the book, maybe I won't. But either way, I'll be watching the interviews. I'll be watching the debates. We'll figure this out. But either way, Hellboy is running. Hellboy's running. I did a video a while back with Roseanne, you know, covering the whole celebrities and using their popularity to run for Congress. You can check out that video right there, by the way. Donald Trump was the star of a reality TV show. Reality meaning he could just be himself. He wasn't playing a character. And, you know, I think that's what people really connected to. But Ron Perlman is an actor, and that's a little scary when you really think about it. And he's a good actor. You can see the way he just acted like Donald Trump. He's a good actor. He's very good at mocking, even. He'd be Joseph Stalin on the inside for all we know, and we would never figure it out because he's such a good actor. Same thing. So it is fairly alarming when you have actors running for political Congress here. Let's be honest.
Because, I mean, that is obviously very enticing to a lot of people. There was recently a Quinnipiac poll, John. A Quinnipiac poll. Is Trump level-headed? Nah. 65% say absolutely not. Is Trump honest? Nah, man. 59% say he is not honest. But is Trump intelligent? Yep. 57% say he seems intelligent to me.
You think that would be enough? Okay, so most of the country doesn't believe that he's honest, which I don't think he's too honest. I think he's honest when he needs to be. Is he intelligent? Most of the country believes he's intelligent. Yes, he is intelligent. You can't make it to the presidency without being intelligent or having your dad be the president first. Bush. Either way, you need that in. And that in for Donald Trump was The Apprentice. So the in for Roseanne is, of course, her show. The in for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is obviously all the movies that he's done and all that stuff. And the in for Ron Perlman is what? Hellboy? The fact that he played a racist in Blade? Yeah. I can't wait for him to face off against a black president just so I can insert this little clip right here.
Hey, me and the gang were wondering.
What was that?
Can you blush?
I know that's an acting role, and I know that's not who he surely is, so at least I hope not. But I think it'd be kind of funny when you think about it. 65% of the population saying that he's not level-headed is kind of alarming, but it's kind of expected at the same time. See, people like to have this little image of themselves that they're highly intelligent. But if you put half the population, 65% of the population, in the presidency role and have them do public speeches, they freeze up. There's a reason why, the number one fear for human beings is public speaking, which oddly enough, death is number 2. That means that at the average funeral, the average person would rather be in the casket than doing the eulogy. Weird little quirks about human behavior here. But nevertheless, that little projection of identity that we like to claim that we have, every person likes to think they can do a better job until they're actually in the hot seat, and then they're completely clueless and they start doing speeches and they're just all over the place, probably a lot worse than Donald Trump. But either way, Donald Trump speaks like us. He speaks like you. He speaks like everybody else. And you know what? Maybe he has a little bit of Brooklyn because he has been in New York for a while. So maybe he's got that old little fucking, ooh, and the fucking, that thing over here. Maybe that's what that is. Either way, he's more of the average citizen or the average person than Obama or someone that's been trained to do these speeches. Which is why he got elected.
Well, he would be a very intelligent villager somewhere living with about 200 people 20,000 years ago, where everything is all about him and subjective impressions because there's no such thing as writing or history or science yet.
Now, this guy can go fuck himself. Yes, I liked him at first, and I gotta be honest, that's kind of a low blow, okay? Because he made it. He made it to the top, didn't he? He made it to the top using his own money, and he did it with his own speech, his own speech patterns, his own skills. And yeah, maybe they weren't the best. But you know what? You're just a linguist, and nobody knows who the fuck you are. So put yourself in that hot seat, and let's see how you do. Sure, you're going to be just like Obama. That's what's going to happen, all right? Because you're going to be able to, talk properly and have these great speeches, and everybody's going to clap and be all happy for you and all that stuff. But at the same time, you're not going to do shit politically. You're going to do nothing politically, just like Obama.
And so Napoleon designed the streets of Paris rather than it being his nephew. And maybe it was this, and maybe it was that. Maybe Watergate had something to do with breaking into the DNC, but it's all just hearsay. All of that makes perfect sense if you live in a village and you're sitting in short pants about 20,000 years ago, before there was such a thing as writing and print and science and establishing things in black and white. He might be quite intelligent, but he would have to be a highly intelligent pre-Neolithic villager. He's tragically unadorned.
Now, pretty much what he's doing here is insulting all of America. This guy is a professional linguist, okay? Professional. So he went to school for this shit. We can't expect every single person to follow the same lines as someone that's, been through the school system for it. Obama obviously took like a lot of linguistic classes and stuff like that to learn how to speak properly and learn how to deliver a proper speech, but Trump has not. Again, this is why we elected him. He's not this Ivy League prick. We can always count on Obama to deliver a great speech, yes, but can we count on him to fix the deficit? Can we count on him to abolish ISIS? Can we count on him for anything at all? Jobs, anything? No, zero. Can't count on him. Great speaker. Can shoot it out fucking left, right, and center, can't fix a damn thing. Trump, not a great speaker, can't really put together a speech very well, but look at the job he's doing.
By the way, there was an actual guy, I don't know if you know this, I just learned this, George.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
Many people are
There was
saying.
20,000 years ago, there was this guy named Bermuda. He was wearing shorts. You see where I'm going with this?
So now we have him carrying on. Before, he was just proving a point. Now he's flat out mocking, which is insulting and not a good way to start out your presidency, Ron Perlman. Like, really think about this shit.
I think I do.
But I mean, you know, the odd thing about it is, you know, we laugh about it, and I guess it maybe is kind of an elitist thing to laugh. You know, I get mad when people say following guest when I go, and I really do hate it when people say following guest, by the way. It's next guest. But I mean, those things drive me crazy. But out in the world, out in America, it is seen as extremely elitist to care about that, right?
Yeah.
So Donald Trump speaking the way he does and sort of being very kind of ordinary in the way he is.
You just said it. Ordinary. Being ordinary. Yes, Trump is the ordinary guy. We don't want an Ivy League prick in office. We want an ordinary guy because the ordinary guy will have our backs. The Ivy League pricks are elitist and they care only about themselves. That's the difference.
Is part of the reason that a lot of people, particularly conservatives, like him.
Oh, it helped get him elected. It makes him seem authentic. And as far as I'm concerned, casual speech in itself is a lot of fun to listen to. Listening to somebody who talks like Trump in a way, I think, isn't it neat how with all of those holes and non sequiturs, you know what a person means. That's something we would study. But he's president.
Yeah.
He's saying important things. He's supposed to be making sense. You're supposed to wear a suit when you're on TV.
Yeah.
He doesn't wear his linguistic suit. He doesn't use his linguistic deodorant. That's...
Well, why don't you go fuck yourself in your linguistic ass? Speaking of suits, this guy's not even wearing a tie. Trump always wears a tie. So at least he's more professional in that manner.
The problem.
Linguistic deodorant, that's a good one. I want to play one more clip. And this is Donald Trump. And I think this interview is actually even a little bit more insane, in sounding, just really interesting sounding.
Interesting sounding, just really interesting sounding. Someone's didn't take her linguistic classes either, it would seem.
Than the New York Times interview. This is Time magazine. Donald Trump saying that he's a very stable person. This is what he said. He said, I'm a very stable person. I'm so stable you wouldn't believe it. We need a strong tone and a compassionate tone, and I can do both. Plus, what's up here? He said, pointing to his temple. I think temperament is my strength, my greatest strength. I'm not a fast trigger. I'm the opposite of a fast trigger, but nobody's going to push us around. I think my ideas are really good. So it's like the other thing he does is he mashes in, as you brilliantly did, Ron, lots of different ideas that don't have to do with the question.
No, you're taking it out of context to make him sound like a moron. Read the rest of the article. Read what comes before and after that sentence, because it would probably make sense, wouldn't it?
Into what he is saying. Did we just get too accustomed to presidents who speak formally and speak well?
We didn't become accustomed. We got sick and tired of. Big difference.
Only Barack Obama, but go all the way back. If you listen to FDR speak, it's a very formal way of speaking. It's a very erudite way of speaking. Kennedy, very erudite. Even Ronald Reagan, his performative sort of presidency was very official.
Even GW tried.
He tried, right. Yeah. George Bush tried and sometimes bumbled because his...
But he was making an effort.
He was trying, right. So the formal presidency, is it over?
No, it's just temporarily on pause.
Yeah.
And I mean, I thank God that there's a standard that is under siege. It's under assault, and you know.
Come on, get it out. We're talking linguistics here. Put your money where your mouth is, Ron Perlman. Don't fuck around.
No, it's inevitable that this he
Today, Junior,
has exposed something that is unacceptable.
Yeah.
In terms of the comportment of this is an incredibly distinguished position.
Let's put that into writing, shall we? President Ron Perlman said this today.
Yeah.
This is a position that affects not just everyone in the United States, but everybody on the planet. And we are being held hostage by somebody who has no core, somebody who has no center.
Being held hostage, as in got elected legally.
Somebody who just, you know, will say anything to generate a response.
You mean like mocking the president?
That's reverse engineering. That's not what a leader is supposed to do.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why we've had 44 others, and now him, which doesn't resemble any of the other 44.
That's why he's doing more than most of the 44. Yeah, he's different. We like different here. We like diversity, remember? This is a diverse country. We like diverse people. different walks of life and stuff, remember? This is the leftist agenda, not ours, okay? You guys put these rules in place.
And there's a reason why, hopefully, in my lifetime and my children's lifetime, we'll never see anything like this again.
And, you know, John, we've been talking a lot about Richard Nixon, you know, in this recent sort of moment. And I am struck whenever I listen to Richard Nixon, how even he sounds like a man attempting to speak with an honor and attempting to sort of hold himself up in an honorable way. The way he speaks is also very formal.
I am formal. Fucking jowls. That's a great comparison to Trump, isn't it? And we all know what Nixon did, didn't we? Yeah, do your history. Not the greatest example of a good president. Vietnam, come on. Do your history, people.
Like a president. He was a cloth coat guy. And I wonder if, because, as Ron said, it's one guy out of 312 million people, he's our one avatar. What happened to that need to have that person be a bit grand?
Yeah, it's interesting. Nixon was similar to Trump in many ways that have been discussed, but he came before a certain time. So even though he had a resentment of the elites, he had a sense that to present himself, to make a case to the elites, he had to at least try to speak well, and he learned to do it. He was actually a good speech maker off the cuff. He could actually speak quite fluently. The modern Nixon doesn't feel that way because we became so much more informal after the late 60s. And I think that was good in many ways, but it does mean that we now have an electorate who don't care about the fact that the president can't rub a noun and a verb together. It just doesn't matter to them. And
ding, ding, ding! What do we have for her, Johnny?
Finally got it right. We don't care. We don't care that he, you know, cheated on his wife with Stormy Daniels, if he did, which I'm pretty sure he did, let's be fair. But none of our fucking business. As long as he keeps saving lives and killing ISIS people, fucked if I give a rat's ass.
in fact, if he were more smoothly articulate, for many of them, I think that it would make him seem less presidential, less appropriate. And the fact is that when you point this sort of thing out, in my experience these days, you're often accused of being smug.
Yeah.
It's not that it's no longer necessary. When we see that kind of behavior and the way he talks, and this, he's so flawed, and everybody can agree with this, even Trump supporters, he is so flawed that we can see the humanity in him. Obama, you couldn't. Most of the presidents, you can't. They seem like these puppets. They've just been worked back and forth. And Hillary Clinton was exactly that. She was being worked like a puppet, like a fucking marionette. And that's the way Clinton is. So we want somebody that's not completely 100% formal all the time. We want that, okay? And you know what? Dancing and shaking your ass on Ellen isn't going to cut it, okay?
Things have changed. I don't know if that's going to change. The articulate president is no longer necessary.
Yeah, and it's sad because even George W. Bush, who was the son of a president, felt that he had to pretend to be a rancher rather than a formal,
that was part of
Yale-educated, elite, very wealthy man. He sort of came across in his own mind. He wanted to seem like just a guy having a hamburger with you. He needed to.
And yet he had to make a speech when it was time, whereas this person feels no need.
No need to do it.
Let me. I like to fish, and it is a. I think it's a. I think it is. It's a.
Okay, so that's the end of the video. In closing, yes. We like people that know what they're doing. We don't really care about the whole linguistic thing. Like, they don't need to talk like a fucking, Ivy League prick all the time. They don't need that. We don't need speech makers in office. We don't need that. We need go-getters in office. People that, actions always speak louder than words. And I've said that in many, many videos. My last one, if you want to watch that, by the way, it's right there. But either way, we want people that are going to get shit done. We can care less about, who they slept with or, their past and all that shit. Within reason. Obviously, we can't have rapists and stuff like that in office. But, right, people that are breaking the law, no. People that are, are flawed and have made mistakes in their life, yes, we want those people because we can relate to those people. And those people can more than likely relate back to us. That is what makes them great leaders and why we elect them in the first place. So we don't want Hillary Clinton because she has so much to hide all the time and she pretends that she's done nothing wrong. She lacks complete accountability, and Trump doesn't lack accountability. He knows that where he's fucked up, and he's not afraid to say, I fucked up here. I made some mistakes in the past. I've been divorced. Obviously that was a mistake, and this was that, and all the other stuff, right? He seems like a person, a real person, someone you sit down and have a beer with. That's the type of leader we need, because that's the type of person that will listen. Obama didn't listen. He didn't give a rat's ass about anybody but himself and his family. That's all he cared about. He pretended to care about homosexual rights, but he never supported gay marriage. He did halfway through his presidency, because he knew he was in the wrong. And yes, that was taking accountability in for itself. So I'll give him that much, yes. But at the same time, we saw through him. We're going to bring the troops back. We're going to bring the troops back. Never happened. We're going to bring jobs back. Never happened. We're going to solve this ISIS problem. Never happened. Trump happened in the first fucking 3 months. 3 fucking months is all it took. So yes, I'll take the guy in the bar stool having a beer with me over this Ivy League prick that wouldn't give me the time of day. Anyway, this just gets me angry. This whole topic gets me angry. Ron Perlman, wish you all the best in the election coming up, but I don't think you're going to get very far with that attitude, especially when you're mocking other people. Leftists love to mock people. You know, they love to stoop to new levels, you know, bottom of the barrel type of tactics. And then they accuse other people of doing it. Very hypocritical, which is why the leftists didn't make it in this time. And I don't think they're going to make it the next time either, because there's just been so much done positive in the world so far. And let's continue to do that, hopefully. I have a book. It's called The Book of Neophyte. I've been advertising on this channel for a very long time, but I do have a sequel that's going to be coming out soon. And it's going to be exclusive only to subscribers. And well, the ebook version of it anyway. So hit that subscribe button and you can get yourself a free ebook, which is wonderful. Probably going to be happening in the next few weeks, so keep an eye out and, you know, subscribe. And yeah, as long as you're subscribing, I will continue to shoot you out free stuff. Don't forget, I also have t-shirts, coffee mugs, phone cases, all that stuff you can get. Take a good look. Everything that I'm talking about can be found in the description below. That's all I have to say for today, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.